with every album, your lyrics got more concerned with media, society, and politics. What led you to that development? Were you just tired of talking about yourself in songs?
I definitely had a real moment after OK Computer, when I heard other people imitating things that we'd done and really didn't like what it sounded like, and really had this kind of, my God, this is really self-indulgent. Have I been responsible for this? That's really awful. A lot of what drives me in music is depression and personal things, but there just seemed to be this indulgence that I never wanted to go near again. And also, I think more to the point, I suddenly realised that a lot of the problems I had weren't actually internal, they were external. They were to do with my immediate environment, my upbringing, the way I saw the external world, and I'd spent a lot of time internalising it because it's the only thing I knew how to do. I mean, a lot of the Generation X thing, you know?
Yes.
It's quite interesting because, like anything, it gets trivialised and turned into something stupid. But it was quite interesting because I think a lot of, say, the Douglas Coupland book was about a bunch of people who were growing up and discovering they just had basically no connection with the world their parents had provided for them. And I think that there was that was something that was true. And I think that it's something that just didn't go away, it's still there. But it sort of expanded and turned into something really dreadful because people my age, for example, old gits, are just, you know, are now at this stage where we're reproducing and we're thinking about the future and all this sort of stuff. And but yet we've totally disassociated ourselves from our politics and our immediate environment and the future because we're far too busy and we've got these things to do here and blah blah blah, and we don't want to look that far away. And I guess being someone who is allowed to think a lot, I'm allowed. I think that's really frightening. I find it really frightening because we're allowing our governments to act on our behalf without questioning what they're doing. And what they are doing is hurling us headlong into oblivion. Yeah. And obviously I'd say that because I'm, you know, but it's true. And they don't give a flying fuck about us. All they care about, Schroeder's exactly the same as Blair. All they care about is the companies the corporate lobbying. All they care about is how they can stay in with the large corporations. They don't give a flying fuck about who votes for them. They vote for them anyway. Yeah. You know, if you've got the right face, Schroeder's got the right face, vote him in. You know, he'll do anything, just like Blair. He'll do fucking anything to stay in. Yeah. Now that's very frightening, because that's our future they're dictating. And people my age just like, yeah, whatever. They're all arseholes. Yeah. That's not good enough, man. Yeah. That's not good enough because they're, you know. Anyway.
No, yeah, that would have been my next question. There are songs on a new record also reflecting what I would call the dark political climate at the moment. But do you feel, of course, when you look at the world now...
Catchy, innit? It's going to sell, isn't it?
What?
Sorry. Fly out.
Yes. When you look at the world, you feel fear, but after the fear must come something else, you know, like hope. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to change something.
Oh, yeah.
So you must also think that there will be a forward moving, not only a back drifting.
Nice. Good. Yeah, I do. But I think it's relatively simple. It's a relatively simple thing. I think that to me, at the moment, the reason I was thinking about it today, the reason we called the record "Hail to the Thief" was just like stating the bleeding obvious.
Mm-hmm.
The bleeding obvious is the most powerful country on earth is run by someone who's stolen an election. Now, see, now that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. That's bad for everybody. Especially because he was bought the election by extremely powerful companies who have an awful lot of money, just as he's doing exactly the same at the moment for the next election. Now, this is bad. But at the same time, it's now okay for people to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 6 months ago, it wasn't okay. In the States, it was not okay to talk about it.
Because of words like anti-Americanism and...
I had friends who write for newspapers and stuff who were getting... Weekly, they were getting death threats for the columns they were writing. Now, that to me is very, very uncool. The thing I was most terrified about when we released our record, it had to be called Hail to the Thief. We had endless discussions about it, and it had to be called that. But I was actually very, very scared about the aggro we'd get.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the hope, my hope at the moment, personally, is the fact that there isn't any aggro. Why? Because, yeah, it's common bloody sense. Everybody knows about it. Yeah, it's true. And it's like... I guess politics isn't a sort of very sexy thing or anything, but
It is for my viewers.
really,
Yeah. They're very strange people.
that's good. Wow, it's obviously not MTV, is it?